Donnie Darko is a 2001 film written and directed by Richard Kelly. In the film, the main character, Donnie Darko, is saved by a giant bunny rabbit and informed the world is ending in exactly
28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds.
Using this information, Donnie embarks on a journey of crime and discovery that he must sacrifice himself to save the world. Since the movie's release, the film has attained a large cult following and is considered a classic in today's world. I, myself, like many others, consider this my all-time favorite film, something that will most likely never be overthrown. When I first saw Donnie Darko, I was blown away by its complex themes and questions that were shrouded by an extreme ambiguity that forces you to constantly rewatch the film and find new things and broaden your understanding. Now that I have finally rewatched the movie more times than I can remember, I can confidently say that I have formed my own understanding of why this movie resonates with so many people and what the movie is trying to say, or at least what it's saying to me. Tune in as I explore Donnie Darko, a martyr of adolescence.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out!
Hold up there. Before we dive into this, it's important to understand what the hell is going on with the elements of time travel in this film, because God knows they're confusing. In the film, Donnie is given a book titled The Philosophy of Time Travel. In the director's cut, you can learn more about the different chapters and what is actually going on, but I'm gonna just give you a quick SparkNotes version of it since that version sucks major ass. Firstly, it's important to understand that a majority of the film's runtime takes place in a tangent universe, or an alternate universe created when time becomes unstable in an actual world. This tangent universe can only survive a couple of weeks before collapsing. In the beginning, we watch Donnie enter the tangent universe when he is saved from a jet plane engine. The jet plane engine serves as what the book likes to call an artifact, or the first sign that the tangent universe has been created. Since the real world is unstable and on the brink of destruction, certain events must take place in the tangent universe to ensure the rescue of the real world. Which brings us into our next key point, the characters and their roles in the universe. Starting with the titular character, Donnie Darko is a living receiver, someone who is granted the choice to save the world through given powers and help from others. As mentioned earlier, Donnie is given the opportunity to save the world when Frank helps him avoid the jet engine crashing into his bedroom. Later in the film, we also learn that Donnie is given the ability of telekinesis to assist him in this mission. Speaking of Frank, we can now acknowledge his role in this universe. Frank is a manipulated dead, or someone who is supposed to guide the living receiver to do what needs to be done in order to save the world. Gretchen is also a manipulated dead. Now this is where things get a bit confusing, so strap in. Since the manipulated dead are working to guide Donnie on his mission, they are already aware that they exist within a tangent universe, something that no other character, including Donnie, is fully aware of. These characters essentially work in a loop, having to die in order to accomplish their priorities. If this doesn't make any sense, don't worry, we're going to dive a little bit more. In the film, the first time we see Frank without the bunny mask, we notice that he has a bullet wound where his eye should be. Later, it was revealed that Donnie Darko is the person who will inflict this wound, in turn killing Frank. When Frank is killed, he then loops back to the formation of the tangent universe in order to save Donnie from dying and guide him through his mission. Likewise, Gretchen is also killed when Frank runs over her with his car, but this event holds a little more meaning. Gretchen's death is what the book titles an insurance trap, or an event that guarantees the living receiver will complete his mission to save the real world. Frank and Gretchen intentionally plan this event to happen to ensure Donnie will kill Frank and send him back to rescue Donnie in the beginning, and also ensure Donnie will sacrifice himself to save the world due to his love for Gretchen in the face of her death. Finally, what about all the other people we see in the story? Well, they are what we call the manipulated living. These people might have some subconscious level of understanding that the real world is ending, causing them to all try to affect Donnie's actions and drive him to save them. The living receivers might all have the same motive of saving themselves, but they are divided on the two sides in the film. One side includes the likes of Jen Cunningham and Donnie's annoying teacher, who intend to encourage Donnie to save the world through the use of hardcore religion and authority. This is counteracted by the other side, including the likes of Donnie's therapist and Karen, Donnie's English teacher, who encourage Donnie to follow with the manipulated dead and save the world through means of destruction. These characters are in constant battle, shown when Karen is fired because of her reluctance towards the ideals of Jim and Kitty. Now that we have the broader understanding of the bizarre time travel philosophies taking place in this film, we can return to our original inquiry. The most basic understanding and analysis going into Donnie Darko is Donnie's worsening mental illness throughout the film. Much of Donnie's behavior could be associated with a severe diagnosis of schizophrenia. It could also be interpreted that Donnie has created a fictional world to deal with his extreme emotions. While I do believe Donnie struggles with mental illness, and his mental illness plays parts into my analysis of this film, I don't believe it's the full explanation of the tangent universe in the film. This is shown when we learn the complication that Donnie has been given placebos for the entire movie.
You can stop taking your medication. They're placebos, just pills made out of water.
Another struggle Donnie is faced with is the dilemma of free will. Throughout the story, Donnie's life path is seemingly already decided. Donnie finds this as complicated and for much of the film struggles to combat his fate, admitting that he is afraid of dying alone.
I don't want to be alone.
Donnie also struggles with his designated fate due to his complications in finding reasons for saving his world. Something paralleled in his discussion of the story Donnie's English teacher makes him read, Watership Down.
When the other rabbits hear of Fiver's vision, do they believe him?
Why should we care?
Because the rabbits are us, Donnie.
Why should I mourn for a rabbit like it was human?
Are you saying that the death of one species is less tragic than another?
Of course. A rabbit's not like us. You know, it has no history books, no photographs, no knowledge of sorrow or regret. I mean, I'm sorry, Miss Bomber. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I like rabbits and all. They're cute and they're horny. And if you're cute and you're horny, then you're probably happy that you don't know who you are or why you're even alive. And you just want to have sex as many times as possible before you die. I mean, I just don't see the point in crying over a dead rabbit. You know, who never even feared death to begin with.
The novel focuses on a group of rabbits who are in danger of being wiped out, and one rabbit who is able to see the future. In many ways, Donnie views his society like a bunch of senseless rabbits, which only complicates his drive to save them. It is only through Donnie's caring for Gretchen that he finds a way to truly care for humanity. Donnie serves as a martyr for adolescence, and is reminiscent of a Christ figure. Despite this, most of Donnie's actions contradict the mold for someone holy. In fact, Donnie isn't holy at all. The movie even going as far to show Donnie surrendered to the three temptations aforementioned by Jim Cunningham earlier. Donnie is also given special powers like Jesus, but uses them in a completely opposite way, accomplishing his mission through means of destruction. If Jesus is Christ as a protector, Donnie is Christ as a destroyer. Despite this, the movie wants to make it clear that his destruction is not necessarily a bad thing, but rather a form of creation. This is shown through another one of the stories Donnie's English teacher makes them read. Graham Greene's The Destructors, a story about a group of teenagers who team up to destroy an old man's house. In the movie, when questioned about the book, Donnie has this to say.
They say it right when they flood the house and they tear it to shreds that, destruction is a form of creation, so the fact that they burn the money is ironic. They just want to see what happens when they tear the world apart.
Even with Donnie's less than holy nature, Donnie instantly comes off as the most holy character of the film due to his sacrifice in the end, even outdoing the most religious character of the film, Jim, who ultimately becomes the devil-like figure of the story, something Donnie is able to catch on to early. If Donnie is the martyr of this story, then the villain could be seen as the adults present throughout the story. Members of the community, like Jim and Kitty, are held upon high regard, preaching strict ideals of religion and what's right and wrong. These characters, although admired by the bulk of the town, are empty and narrow-minded, lacking any real understanding of the human experience. This is shown when Kitty attempts to get Donnie to label his emotions on either side of fear and love. The film paints many of the adults with a lack of understanding of what truly is going on, something that only makes Donnie more upset.
The whole spectrum of human emotion. You can't just lump everything into these two categories and then just deny everything else.
If you don't complete the assignment, you'll get a 0 for the day.
Through this, many of Donnie's actions in the movies are a way of destroying the adult order to create a brighter future. Through exposing the lies and hypocrisy of the figures like Jim Cunningham, Donnie hopes to create a higher level of authentic living for himself and his peers. The ending of Donnie Darko is as bizarre and ambiguous as the rest of the movie. It is speculated the living have trauma from the tangent universe, however none of them can place what the trauma is about. Donnie is also seen laughing before he dies, showing that he no longer fears dying alone. He has accepted his fate at the benefit of others. He was given a choice to save himself or save others, and in the end he realized your life doesn't matter unless you give it meaning. Although this is a confirmed and solid explanation for the ending, many still find much of the ambiguity annoying. Take Gretchen waving with Donnie's mom, for example. Although it might come off as annoying, the film being ambiguous is intentional. Me personally believing the ambiguity is the point to represent how so many people feel during adolescence and throughout their entirety of life. Loss. So why do so many people love Donnie Darko? On the outside, the film might appear as an ambiguous film that makes absolutely no sense and has nothing to say. This assumption couldn't be further from the truth. Donnie Darko is able to stand the test of time and remain an amazing film due to its beautiful and unique execution of the struggles of adolescence that many films are unable to accomplish even today. His fears of death, struggles with mental illness, and overall spite with an adult world who can't accept him make him relatable to a group who are just trying to figure it all out. His eventual sacrifice and happiness inspiring hope that things will get better and the world is worth fighting for. Donnie's everyday struggles and fears while fighting against the adult world make him a martyr for adolescents around the world. And that's it, my analysis of Donnie Darko. I'm honestly so in love with this movie and blessed to have the ability to share that love. Let me know what you think, and thank you so much for watching. The song will take you to the outro.